Houston, you're looking good. Tom checker on the horn. Yes, you are. Clear. We're going for the moon.
Loud and clear.
Take her down.
Here we go, Ben. You ready?
I sure am. Waiting a long time for this.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Only 12 guys have seen this view.
Day 1 DOD mission report.
I gotta document this. Nate said he never snores in his sleep. Now I got proof.
Houston, how does the motion sensor work?
Really?
Yeah. We've been experiencing unexplained malfunctions.
Look at this. Flag's gone.
Tracks. They aren't ours. They lead away from our section. Mike, you're picking up interference. I've never heard anything like it.
Restoring communications needs to be priority 1. Without that, we're not going home.
What the hell is going on?
Looks like the hull's insulation is damaged. Something's moving. Something's inside my suit. Nate!
What happened out there? Infection is spreading. Stop! Nate, you'll kill us both! This is Apollo 18. Do you copy?
Oxygen's getting low.
Anyone, please!
Something else out here. Open the hatch.
Oh, God!
Okay, there we go. Hey everybody, NG5 here, and so the intro clip was by Horror Nymphs. This is from the Blue Blur. This is the final boss theme, Ruby Illusions from Sonic Mania. But wait, listen to this real quick. That little bit soundbite there is from the Apollo 11 launch, but for those that don't remember, 2 months ago I tried doing a review on October 18th, and I was drunk. I was flat out drunk in that one. I am not drunk now. I am sober for this one. First of all, Merry Christmas. I hope everyone that I know has had a safe and healthy Christmas. But today I'm going to be looking at Apollo 18. Apollo 18 came out 9 years ago. And let's see, it's an alternate history, found footage, science fiction, horror film. That's quite a lot of different kinds of genres. This was written by Brian Miller, directed by Gonzalo Lopez Gallego from Spain, and produced by Timur Nurakovic Bekmambetov. So you had an American writer, a Spanish director, and a Russian producer. Oh, and German, because you had Michelle Wolkoff. That's definitely a big potpourri of international stuff. Even the actors and all that were from different places. The film is all about the canceled Apollo 18 mission that landed this year in 1974, but the tagline is, "There's a reason we've never been to the moon." And I'm going to read off the plot after I change the music here. Again, this music is the final boss theme, Ruby Illusions from Sonic Mania, which sounds awesome, by the Blue Blur. I just wanted to put that out there. As a whole fair use thing. I also put that in the description. Let's see. Let me think. What would work for the music? Oh wait, I know what to use. This is by Official VGM. I used this when I was drunk because, again, I got inspired to do the whole Great Clement being drunk thing. I'm sober for this one. But let's get started. So, December 1974, the crew of the canceled Apollo 18 mission is informed it will now proceed as a top-secret DoD, Department of Defense mission disguised as a satellite launch. Commander Nathan Walker, Lieutenant Colonel John Gray, Captain Ben Anderson launched to the moon to place detectors to alert the United States of any ICBM attacks, intercontinental ballistic missiles from the Soviet Union. Gray remains in orbit aboard the Apollo Command Module Freedom, while Walker and Anderson land on the south pole of the moon in the Apollo Lunar Module Liberty. The Command Module was the little cone-shaped thing that would orbit around the moon. Lunar Module would be the one that landed. So Freedom was the Command Module, Liberty was the Lunar Module. And while I was drunk, I decided to list off all of the Command Modules. I might do that again. Let's see if I can find them. They're in here somewhere. Here we go. CSM. Yeah, serial numbers. Yeah, here we go. It started with Apollo 9. Gumdrop was the command module. Number 10 was Charlie Brown. Number 11 was Columbia. Number 12, Yankee Clipper. Number 13 was Odyssey. 14 was Kitty Hawk. 15, Endeavor. Endeavor. 16 was Casper, and Apollo 17 was America. The majority of these are on display somewhere. Let's see. I'll keep going here. And they landed on Christmas, today. While planting one of the detectors, the pair take rock samples, which Anderson describes as feeling strange. In the background, the camera captures a rock moving into a nearby crater. After returning to Liberty, the pair hear noises outside, and the motion sensor camera captures a small rock moving nearby. Houston claims the noises are interference from the ICBM detectors. The next day, Anderson finds a rock sample on the floor of Liberty, despite him having secured the samples. During their ICBM setup, Anderson discovers footprints that lead him to a blood-stained and abandoned, but still functional, Soviet LK lander. LK landers were the Soviet response to the Americans' space race. Yeah, it was the Soviet equivalent of a lunar module. Yeah, it says here, its role was analogous to the American lunar module. Once we put boots on the moon first, they basically stopped making this the LK Proton lander, and I believe it was to hold the first types of LK landers held only one person. There was a variant that came out later that would hold two. Let's see. Let me keep going here. Anderson explores a nearby crater which he describes as the ground as feeling softer. Inside the crater, he finds a dead cosmonaut as well as a broken helmet. Walker queries Houston about the Soviet presence, but he's told only to continue the mission. Oh yeah, if you found some Russians up there, it's okay. Just keep going. It's like, bruh, why? Let's keep going. Let's see. While they're sleeping, Walker is woken up by strange noises and something bumping into the lander, the lunar module, not the LK. Anderson, I skipped a paragraph. The following day, the pair find that the flag they had planted is missing. Having completed the mission, the crew prepares to leave, but the launch is aborted when Liberty suffers violent shaking. An inspection reveals extensive damage to Liberty. Walker finds their shredded flag nearby, and the motion sensor camera is also missing, and the rover tipped over on its side. He then finds non-human tracks outside Liberty, citing them as evidence of extraterrestrial life. Walker feels something move in his face suit and is horrified as a spider-like creature crawls across the inside of his helmet. He disappears from view and Anderson finds him unconscious. Walker later denies everything. Yeah, deny everything. A wound is discovered on Walker's chest, and Anderson removes a moon rock embedded within him. After having removed it, Walker smashes it with a hammer. But now they can't contact Houston or Gray, who's on board Freedom, due to unknown interference. Anderson speculates the true purpose behind the warning devices is to monitor the concealed aliens, and that they are the source of the interference. Anderson and Walker attempt to switch the devices off, only discover they have been destroyed, with the same non-human tracks surrounding them. Walker shows signs of a developing infection, like vein discoloration caused by necrosis. And necrosis, premature death of cells. Bloodshot eyes, and becomes contentious and paranoid. Mission cameras capture rock samples moving around in the interior of Liberty, revealing that the aliens are camouflaged as moon rocks. Increasingly delusional, Walker attempts to destroy the cameras within Liberty with a hammer, but he accidentally damages other controls, causing Liberty to depressurize. Realizing Soviet LK's only source of oxygen, the pair travel to find the LK lander in their lunar rover. Walker becomes agitated, believing he should not leave the moon because of the risk of spreading the infection to Earth, and causes the rover to crash. As the rover crashes, the camera catches glimpses of larger space rocks, which begin to look like spiders. Anderson awakens and tracks Walker to the crater where they found the cosmonaut, and Walker gets pulled in. Anderson gives chase, but he's confronted by the aliens and then runs to the LK. There he contacts the Soviet mission control, who directs him to the DoD. Deputy Secretary informs Anderson they can't allow him to return to Earth, and maybe they are aware of the situation and incorrectly believe he's also infected. Anderson manages to contact Gray, and they make arrangements for Anderson to return to Freedom. Anderson prepares the lander for launch, but Walker arrives, revealing he survived the alien encounter, demanding to be let in. He's completely psychotic, and when Anderson refuses, he tries to break the lander's window with a hammer, but before he can, he is swarmed with rock aliens that break his helmet open and kill him, and his body is dragged away by a much larger alien rock. Yeah, it was a little hard to see that in the movie, but that did happen. Let's see. Anderson launches, but DoD tells Gray that Anderson's infected and orders him to abort the rescue or ground communication. If they were to do that, the command module would be unable to return to Earth because you have no radio contact. The lander's engines shut off as it enters orbit, and while it's in free fall, small rocks within the craft float in the air, some of which reveal themselves to be the rock aliens. Now Anderson is attacked and infected, preventing him from controlling the vehicle. Gray warns Anderson he's approaching too fast, and the footage ends abruptly, implying that the two collided. The film concludes with a statement giving the official fate of the astronauts, describing them as having been killed in various accidents that left their bodies unrecoverable. An epilogue notes that many of the rock samples returned from the previous Apollo missions are now missing. Let's see. Yeah, what's funny is that these guys that play the characters, like Warren Christie is Ben Anderson, but he's a Northern Irish-born Canadian television actor. Lloyd Owen is named Walker, and he's British. Brian Robbins is from Canada. Brian Robbins was Gray. Andrew Airlie, who played the Capcom guy, Thomas Young, is a Scottish-born Canadian actor. And then the DoD guy was Michael Kopsa, who's from Canada. That's weird. But anywho, let me just say that the music you're hearing is Launch Base Zone Act 1 by official VGM from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Yeah, I used this earlier on when I was drunk, when I originally did this, but I'm doing this with a clear head now, which is so much better. So, this was shot in Vancouver, British Columbia, but it had been promoted as a found footage. And to me, the found footage subgenre kind of got lost after a while. Like, you never really heard of found footage movies for a while. This was distributed by Dimension Films. You saw it in the trailer. And Dimension Films, I believe, is owned by the Weinstein Company. Yeah, American film, independent film distribution by Lantern. It was, formerly used with Bob and Harvey Weinstein label with Miramax, which was acquired by the Walt Disney Company on June 30th, 1993. So for a little while, this Dimension Films was under the Walt Disney umbrella. But that was Miramax. I don't think... Well, technically that makes the Dimension a Disney thing. Nowadays, Miramax is owned by Viacom and the BEIN Media Group. I just want to point that out. They were owned by Disney for a while. Disney owned it from 1993 until September 2005. Miramax was sold by Disney to Film Yard Holdings during that time. But yeah, Disney owned Miramax for a little while. The only reason why I said that was because of Dimension Films. Let's see. Let's keep going here. There are some alternate endings and a couple of deleted scenes. But they're kind of basic. I'll just read them off here. Spoilers. Alternate endings. The first ending, Anderson is in the LK and being attacked by Walker. Anderson is surrounded by the aliens as the LK loses oxygen and he dies. So they basically cut off his circulation. The second ending's kind of silly. Anderson's in the LK with the alien trying to break in. An alien breaks the window of the LK and kills Anderson with a pincer. Yeah, I saw that one. That was kind of silly. Third ending. Anderson is talking with the DoD and the LK and he sees veins. He sees the veins in his arms turning black, indicating he's infected. The infection overtakes him, and he begins to smash the control panel in rage before breaking the camera, leaving his fate unknown. Fourth ending. Infected Anderson is in the LK. An alarm begins to sound as the lander plummets back to the moon, and it impacts with the surface. And then there's one other ending. Gray survives the ordeal and argues with a DoD official back on Earth. He reveals the astronauts were sent to the moon to get infected and return to Earth so the US can use the alien venom as a bioweapon against the Soviet Union, which is conducting human experiments with the venom. Now, I did see that ending on the DVD that I own, and it's pretty crazy. Deleted scenes. There's a single deleted scene detailing the fate of the Russian cosmonaut. He's killed when the alien breaks his helmet visor, which makes sense. Other deleted scenes show two alternate versions of the dead cosmonaut. We found him in the crater in the final version. Version 1, Nate and Anderson find the cosmonaut's helmet but no Soviet ship. They then find the cosmonaut's body dragged many feet away. Version 2, it's the same as the first, but the cosmonaut is partially buried. Another alternate scene shows Anderson leaving a picture of his family on the surface as he swears he'll get home. As he does, the rock aliens begin to stalk him. Anderson spots the Soviet lander in the distance, nearly makes it inside as the aliens chase after him. A lot of people say that it was pretty bad, but it was a financial success. It grossed worldwide almost $27 million against a $5 million budget, which is pretty good. Let's see. But yeah, it's just it got a lot of negative reviews. It feels, a lot of people say it's like a weird Paranormal Activity-esque ripoff, and that's kind of just boring, but I honestly found this movie pretty darn good. Would I recommend it? If you're into found footage stuff, yes. If you're not, then this really isn't a movie you should watch. You might get bored with it, but I would still recommend it. It's a fun little movie. Yes, it is kind of silly of what goes on in it, but again, I honestly think it's a good movie. What to do tomorrow, though, I really don't know. I'll think of something, but I wanted to review this the day of the supposed mission, and I want to also kind of retcon the drunk version I did. If you want to look that up, look up Oktoberfest Day 18. That's when I did that, and that's when I was like, that's how I was basically sounding. I should have done that. I should have pretended to be drunk while I was doing that review, but anyway. Hearing me now being drunk, I'm like, I really tried to do that? Anyway. But Apollo 18 is a good movie. There's also the Apollo 20 hoax that's been floating around. I might do that tomorrow just for fun. Show you what was going on in the Apollo 20 hoax. Because that's honestly a fun little myth that's been going around. I'll read the synopsis of it and what was going on in that particular mission. I'll do that tomorrow. Anyway, guys, this is NG5. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, and here's to 2021. Yeah, have a good one, everybody.